مكاين يكون فيها معطر، كذلك الغسيل الآن ماء ومواد مطهرة تابعة للنظافة.
كم يستغرق الوقت في الغسيل؟
والله الوقت الغسيل ما بين 20 إلى 25 دقيقة.
في الوقت اللي غير مزدحم؟
نعم غير مزدحم.
في المواسم؟
في المواسم نفس الطريقة إن شاء بس تزيد إلى نص ساعة 35 دقيقة.
ممتاز ما شاء الله.
The cleaning department is one of the largest in the Haram in terms of manpower. It is organized with 200 official and seasonal employees. In addition, there are 2,700 workers, 260 controllers, and over 100 supervisors. These employees are organized into 4 revolving shifts, enabling 24-hour coverage. Their duties include washing and cleansing of all areas of the Haram. The cleaners work with military precision, and their positioning and teamwork is a sight to behold. The cleaning of the Mataf area of the Haram would be a straightforward task. The reason there is so much planning, precision, and technique involved in this process is because in the Haram, there are always thousands of worshippers moving around the Kaaba. The cleaners have to be very, very organized because logistically, they cannot disturb the worshippers or impede the flow of the people performing the tawaf. This is one of the great considerations of all the departments of the Haram, and it is evident in small details anywhere around the Haram.
عمل إدارتي مهم لأنه يقتصر على نظافة هذا المكان المبارك للزوار، نظافة للمعتمرين، ونتبع وصية الله عز وجل لسيدنا إبراهيم وطهر بيتي للطائفين والعاكفين والركع السجود.
انتهينا من جولتنا مع الزميل عبد المجيد في إدارة النظافة والفرش. عملهم جدا جبار وجميل، تميز عملهم بين الدقة والسرعة في نفس الوقت. سيلاقي إن شاء الله إعجاب الكثير في مواقع التواصل الاجتماعي هذا العمل الجبار كما رأيناه سابقا.
The extent of the planning, the precision of the execution, and the unlimited resource used in the cleaning is part and parcel of the sacredness of this holy city and another means of honoring the Haram. So from the management view, the motivation for such a unique system of cleaning is evident. But if you really want to understand something, ask the people doing the work on the ground. What is it that so motivates these cleaners, often referred to as the heroes of the haramain, to take such care and pride in their roles? You certainly don't find cleaners who work like this at other institutions. We spoke to one of the cleaners on the ground at the Haram as he went about his daily duties to try and find out. Sajid Ahmed has been working as a cleaner in the Haram for over 15 years and originally hails from Bangladesh. We asked him how his journey brought him here to the Haram.
मेरा नाम है साजिद अहमद, मैं बांग्लादेश का, मैं इधर 15 साल काम कर रहा हूँ, अभी 16 साल चल रहा है मेरा। मैं इधर आया था सऊदी में, कंपनी का काम कहीं पर होता है, लेकिन मैंने जब सुना इधर आने के लिए बताया हरम में ड्यूटी है मेरा, मैं तो बहुत खुश होगा। अल्लाह का बहुत शुक्र है और शुक्रिया अदा किया। 2 रकात नमाज़ पढ़ा, नमाज़ पढ़ के सीधा ड्यूटी किया, ड्यूटी करके सीधा चला गया, ड्यूटी ख़त्म करके उम्रा किया। अल्लाह शुक्र अदा है, अल्लाह का घर में मेरा को काम करने के लिए याद दिया। इसका नसीब का बात होता है जो अल्लाह का घर में काम करना, हर किसी का नसीब में नहीं होता है, लेकिन मेरा पास अल्लाह ने दिया और इसके लिए मैं बहुत शुक्रगुजार हूँ। अल्लाह का पास भी करो, मैंने बहुत खुश हूँ अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह। जब मैंने हरम में फर्स्ट टाइम आया था तब तो मुझे जब हरम का अंदर घुसा मेरा जिस्म बहुत कुछ रूमटे हारा हो गया, हर चीज़ मेरा कांपने लग गया। जो अल्लाह का घर मेरा को इतनी सी उम्र में अल्लाह का घर मुझे दिखाया, अल्लाह का बहुत शुक्रगुजार हूँ। अल्लाह ताला ने तौफीक दिया मुझे, इसके लिए मैंने बहुत बहुत शुक्रगुजार अल्लाह का पास। इससे बड़ी बात हो ही नहीं कर सकते जो दुनिया में मुसलमान हो के जो अल्लाह के घर में काम करना बहुत बड़ा बात है, बहुत बड़ा चीज़ है। हम लोग जो एक मुल्क का नहीं है जो इधर काम करते हैं, जैसे पाकिस्तान का है, इंडिया का है, बांग्लादेश का है, श्रीलंका का भी है, नेपाल का भी है। हम लोग सारा मिलजुल के काम करते हो। एक को बता तो तुम ये कर लो, मैं दूसरा कर लेता हूँ, दूसरा कर लेता है, करके हम लोग कोई पे बाहर भेजने काम के लिए बाहर एक को भेज देता हूँ, आज एक को भेजता हूँ, कल दूसरा भेजता हूँ। हम लोग जैसे भाई बहन जैसे मिल के काम काज कर लेते हो सारा चीज़। मेरा सबसे बड़ा मेमोरी यही है जो मैं आया इधर आने के बाद काम किया, बहुत दिन काम किया, मैं काबा का अंदर भी गया। इससे बड़ी बात मेरे पास और कुछ नहीं है। जो काबा का अंदर घुस के मैंने नमाज़ पढ़ा, अल्लाह का शुक्रगुजार है। जो नमाज़ पढ़ा मैंने माँ बाप के लिए अंदर घुस के भी दुआ किया, भाई बहन के लिए किया, अल्लाह का शुक्रगुजार है। जो इससे बड़ी बात मेरे पास और कुछ नहीं है। जो
This is Ali Jaba. He has been working at the Haram for 4 years. Ali works for the Religious Affairs Department. This department is relatively small, but they play an important educational role in the life at the Haram. They are usually scholars who have an in-depth understanding of Islam and gentle personalities. They are instantly recognizable around the Haram by their distinctive brown robes, which helps give them an authoritative air amongst a sea of worshippers.
شعوري في العمل في الحرم شعور عظيم ومسؤولية عظيمة واصطفاء من الله أني أكون في هذا المكان، وأسأل الله أن أكون عند حسن الظن. يعطيك العافية وما قصرت، وشكرا لك حبيبي. أي خدمة، يلا في أمان الله. السلام عليكم وعلى الشباب.
In the Haram, you find people of all different cultures and countries. They come from all corners of the earth. With this, they sometimes bring cultural baggage with them. By this we mean they have sometimes picked up customs and practices that are born out of their own cultural understanding of Islam and are not backed up by the actual practices of Islam.
السلام عليكم. هلا شباب. طيبين؟ شو أحوالكم؟ شو أخباركم؟ عساكم طيبين؟ كيف الصحة؟ أخباركم طيب؟
This department's role is to guide the worshippers from all the different parts of the world to a more educated and proven practice of Islam. This is a role that requires a great deal of understanding, patience and diplomacy, especially when worshippers are so fervent in their beliefs. After praying his 2 customary rakat, Ali Jaba joins the rest of the religious affairs team as they undertake some of their specific duties in the mataf.
السلام عليكم. كيف حال الشباب؟ طيبين؟ شو أحوالكم؟ يلا يا خالة، مصلية النساء في اليمين يا أخوات، مصلية النساء في اليمين، تجي مصلية النساء يا خالة. الصلاة يا أمي، الصلاة يا ماما. يلا يا خالة، مصلية النساء في اليمين. يا أختي، مصلية النساء في اليمين، الله يسعدك. مرحبا، حياك الله يا عم، الله يسعدك. يلا يا أخوان، مصلية النساء في اليمين يا أمي، مصلية النساء في اليمين. يلا يا خالة، يمينك يا خالة، يمينك يا أمي. يمينك يا خالة، يمينك يمينك يمينك. مرحبا، هذه طبيعة عملنا يوميا، الله يسعدكم. قبل صلاة الفريضة بربع ساعة إلى 20 دقيقة نبدأ بتوجيه النساء إلى مصلياتهم الخلفية لعزل النساء عن الرجال اتباعا لحديث النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام: خير صفوف النساء آخرها وشرها أولها. وهذه طبيعة عملنا في إدارة هيئة الأمر بالمعروف والنهي عن المنكر بقيادة الشيخ ماجد بن صالح السعيدي، ونسأل الله العون والقوة على ذلك يا رب. حياكم الله. يلا يا خالة، يمينك يمينك يا أمي، مصليات النساء يمين. تعالي يمين، عدين. وظيفة عمل رجل الهيئة أمر بالمعروف والنهي عن المنكر اتباعا لسنة النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام في جميع مناطق الحرم وخارج الحرم ومواقع الحرم، في مقام إبراهيم، خلف المقام، الحجر إسماعيل، جميع المواقع حول الكعبة وخلف المقام. من مهام عملنا منع التبرك في مقام إبراهيم وتقبيل مقام إبراهيم من بعض الزوار والمعتمرين اتباعا لسنة النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام. وكذلك من مهام عملنا مشايات، توسعة الطرقات لبعض الزوار والمعتمرين وتوجيه النساء إلى مصلياتهم، ذلك لاتباع السنة.
Ali Jaba tries to keep the crowd organized and moving along so as not to become a hazard to the pilgrims performing their tawaf. It's a difficult job, and it's only from the air that one can truly appreciate the enormity of this task. We asked Ali Jaba to describe the best thing about working in the Haram.
من أفضل الأشياء إذا تعاملت مع أي حاج ودعا لك كم دعوة كذا في بيت الله، الله يسعد قلبك، الله يوفقك، الله يوسع لك، من أكثر الأشياء اللي تسعدني في عملي وتكون دافع لي في أثناء عملي.
The sun sets over Makkah. This denotes the time for the Maghrib prayer.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
Maghrib has 3 compulsory rakat, or 3 units of prayer. The first 2 units are prayed aloud by the Imam in congregation, and the 3rd unit is prayed in silence. The time for these 5 prayers is the only time you'll hear relative silence in the haram. The hustle and bustle of the place stops. All movement stops. The walkways and spaces become empty and deserted. Remember earlier we spoke about the reward system and how every person here in Makkah wants to maximize the value of their worship. Well, one of the astounding facts about Makkah is that every prayer here in this holy place is equated to the value of 100,000 prayers elsewhere. This is the level to which the haram is elevated in the eyes of Islam. Over the years, the haram has been expanded several times to facilitate the ever-increasing number of pilgrims. The current expansion is the single biggest expansion project in history. The expansion will complete its first phase in 2020, and the construction work on the haram is non-stop around the clock. The late King Abdullah had laid the foundation stone for the expansion of the Grand Mosque at a ceremony held in Mecca on the 19th of August 2011. The Holy Mosque's main expansion includes the Masai expansion, which has already been opened, and the expansion of the Matar. Added to it will be external parks, flyovers, a new complex of central services buildings, service tunnels, security buildings, a hospital, pedestrian use tunnels, transportation stations, bridges leading to the mosque, and the first ring road that will totally surround the area of the haram. A complete infrastructure, which includes power stations, water reservoirs, and flood draining systems, will be built to support and maintain and power the expansion. The haram has a team of international experts looking after every aspect of the expansion. They work through day and night and manage the proliferate of smaller construction projects based off of the bigger landscape-changing designs. Amongst the construction, great consideration has been given to the comfort of the worshippers, so huge new prayer halls have been constructed. The elegance of the design is consistent with the rest of the haram's internal architecture and is quintessentially Arabian in look and feel. Impressive-looking chandeliers adorn the area, and huge domes will eventually add to the finishing touches. The Mataf before the expansion received around 50,000 people per hour and 188,000 worshippers. After the expansion, the Mataf will be able to receive 107,000 people per hour and 278,000 worshippers. That's an increase of over 50%. The expansion is an immense project, a grand vision that is slowly becoming a reality. It is a massive and complex international effort, but it demonstrates the immense measures that are taking place within the haram to increase the safety and comfort of the millions of pilgrims. The majority of visitors who come to the haram, both locally and internationally, are coming for the pilgrimage. This consists of the Hajj, which can only be carried out between specific dates of the year, and the Umrah, which can be carried out all year round. The Hajj is the single largest gathering and movement of people in the world, and the Haram is in a continuous state of preparation for the Hajj all year round. The Hajj is compulsory as part of the religion of Islam, and every able-bodied Muslim, male and female, is obliged to carry out the Hajj at least once in their lifetime. It is known as the major pilgrimage, and it is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. The Umrah is known as the minor pilgrimage. we joined one of the thousands of pilgrims who were performing the Umrah to gain a clear understanding and a step-by-step visual account of the rituals involved. This is Abdul Hakim. Abdul has travelled to Mecca from Nigeria with the intention to perform his Umrah. This is the first time he has ever visited the Kaaba. The first thing that is noticeable about Abdul is what he is wearing. 2 simple white unstitched cloths. This is known as the ihram, meaning a sacred state. A pilgrim must enter into this state before crossing the pilgrimage boundary, known as the miqat, by performing the cleansing rituals and wearing the prescribed attire. Once a Muslim has entered into the state of ihram, he agrees to abide by certain conditions. You see, the state of ihram goes far beyond one's clothing, and it is considered most important to enter a spiritual state of mind. There is also no gender segregation during the pilgrimage. This is to remind everyone that on the Day of Judgment, both men and women will be standing together, side by side, in the same rows. Now Abdul is performing tawaf. This is the first part of the Umrah. Tawaf consists of circumventing the Kaaba anti-clockwise 7 times. Men are encouraged to do this 3 times at a hurried pace, followed by 4 times at a more leisurely pace. During the Tawaf, pilgrims can recite passages from the Holy Quran and also pray for the things that they want and ask Allah to forgive their sins. On each of the 7 passes, the aim for Muslims is to kiss or at least touch the black stone. But this is often not possible because of the large crowds, so it is acceptable for them to simply point or hold up their hand to the stone on each circuit. They're also to make the prayer Bismillah Allahu Akbar each time they approach, as Abdul is doing now. Having completed his 7 cycles to make up the Tawaf part of the Umrah, Abdul now proceeds to the next ritual, the Sa'i. Before he makes his way to Safa Marwa for the Sa'i, he stops to perform 2 nafil prayers and to take a drink of Zamzam. As he arrives at Safa Marwa, we are reminded again of the purpose of this ritual. Remember the story of the Zamzam well? This part of the Umrah is a literal reenactment of the scene where Hajar is frantically searching for water for baby Ishmael, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provided a spring of water for them. This is the same source of water that is today called the Well of Zamzam. To perform this part of the Umrah, Abdul walks 7 times back and forth between the hills of Safwa and Marwa. He increases the pace of walk to a brisk run, where the green lights in the Haram indicate. This is representative of Hajar running for a portion between the 2 mountains where she could not see her son. One of the astounding things about Safa Marwa is that those 2 hills, which Hajar ran between all those centuries ago, are still perfectly preserved here within the Haram. This means that these pilgrims today are literally walking in the footsteps of the blessed. The final part of Umrah is to cut or shave the hair. A partial shortening of the hair is acceptable and typically reserved for women, who cut a minimum of 1 inch or more of their hair. Usually men will perform a complete shaving of the hair. Both of these signify the submission to the will of God over glorifying physical appearances. The head shaving cutting signifies the end of the Umrah.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
It's the time for Isha, the night prayer. This is the fifth and final prayer before the cycle starts again with Fajr. In Makkah, everything is set by the times of these 5 prayers. If you were going to meet a friend for coffee at night, instead of specifying a time, you would simply say, meet after Isha. Or, if you had to make a daytime appointment, you would say, book it for after Asr. These are common phrases used by Muslims not only in Makkah, but all over the world. It's swift approaching the end of the day, as Bandar and Mustafa return to the Riyaza offices. They are excited to share with the rest of the team what they have found in the Haram.
الحمد لله انتهينا من رفع الصور على مجلد المشاركة مع الزملاء. اخترنا الصورة المناسبة لهذه الحملة لمصنع الكسوة. الحمد لله في رحلتي هذا اليوم يعني على جميع الإدارات ال5 اللي أنا غطيتها عمل جبار يقوم فيها الزملاء. يعني صراحة أنا وأنا أعمل في الرئاسة تغيب عني بعض هذه المهام اللي تقوم بها زملائي في بعض الإدارات. مثلا كسبيل المثال مثلا إدارة زمزم وإدارة مثلا النظافة. زمزم لما أعطوني الشباب مثلا الحافظة ووزعت على الحجاج في صحن المطاف الماء شعور كان جدا جميل. أما بالنسبة لأخواننا في النظافة وزملائنا في النظافة والفرش كان عملهم يتميز في شيئين في الدقة وفي السرعة. الآن الوقت تقريبا العشاء متجه إن شاء الله للبيت. أجي بكرة إن شاء الله الصباح مع الشباب بيد واحدة بإذن الله لنكمل مسيرتنا في هذه الحملة.
The Haram in Makkah remains one of the most important and respected institutions of our times. Its significance only increased by new modern-day technologies and the ability for pilgrims to arrive with ease from all over the world. In these increasingly dark times for humanity, the Haram shines as a beacon of moderation and leadership for the Islamic world and Muslims everywhere. For this ancient land is rich with the sacred history of Islam, making it conducive to humility and worship. For millions of Muslims, that first vision of the Kaaba and the Holy Mosque is an unforgettable moment, a moment that transcends all things into the life of this world. For truly the Kaaba is a magnificent structure. It stands serene and majestic as thousands circumvent it. Sure, there are many challenges ahead, balancing modernization with tradition, increasing the safety of the pilgrims, crowd control, completing the ambitious expansion plans, but with the sense of awe and awareness that the Haram inspires in the individuals who work here, there is a strong belief that all challenges will be overcome. That this place and this city, most beloved by God, will rise above any obstacles. This is, after all, the center of the world of worship. The most important physical space on earth for Muslims and the oldest place of prayer to the God of mankind.